on this Friday. I wasn't expecting to go live on this Friday, but here I am. I just worked for, what was it, 16 hours? 15, 16? I did a double. I have 2 jobs, and today I worked both of them. So I worked for 8 hours, and then I worked for 7 hours. And the half hour between them was me walking from one to the other. So very tired, but I'm trying to stream every day in April, except for the 2 days I missed because I had a ban. Oopsie daisy. And here I am. I made it. And I use this microphone in a show that I work on to record room audio for a crowd in a comedy bar. And one of the members of the production team on that show is the person who unrigged this mic, and they left the mount at the bar. So I have to go see if I can get that back. Hopefully, we shall see if I can get that back. But I just spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how to gaff tape this microphone to this boom arm so that I could live stream. Curious if the sign is going to make this an interesting live. Because I just was I was on the phone with a friend and I was brainstorming the sign idea because I do a different sign every day, and I slept for 3 hours last night because I had a gig, and then my friends wanted me to come sing karaoke to celebrate the success I've been having at like doing this streaming social media thing. Like being on the news twice yesterday was very exciting. Very excited that I'm getting to push some of the mainstream narrative on what's going on. So I like went and sang karaoke until like 2, 3 in the morning, and then I got up and went to work at 7, and then I finished that job at 4, and then I had my next job at 4:30, and now it's 11, and I just got home, and I have decided that instead of going to bed, I'm going to stream. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a savage, I guess. I'm a streamer now. Got to do it. Got to grind. But judging by how this is going, I don't normally stream this time of day lately. So maybe the algorithm doesn't like it. Maybe you guys don't like the sign. Maybe people only want conflict. But maybe this will just end up being a just us girls chat, and I'll just hang out with some buddies for a little bit. Because it is, I will say, it is an incredible privilege that I am having enough success at live streaming that I can have a stream like this one where I kind of don't give a fuck. Where like, Tam1234 says Trump is awesome, and I'm just gonna be like, dude, call tomorrow, call me on Sunday, call me another day. I'm not fucking doing that tonight. I'm too tired. I had a comment on Instagram I thought was funny where somebody was like, my room temperature IQ blank stare on these debates, like, just, should tell you all you need to know. And I'm just like, oh man, it is so much mental work to keep track of all the nonsense that the caller is saying that I do just kind of sit here and lock in sometimes. And it's like, you've never seen a person think hard before. It is mentally taxing to do that. Trump failed our country. Yeah, he absolutely did. Let me open the multi-guest queue. I guess the sign was kind of inspired because I had a caller who, it's kind of a messy call because I couldn't quite I think he just was one of those sexists who was never going to vote for a woman, so he just like couldn't fathom that even though he hated Trump for failing him and breaking all his promises, he was just like, yeah, I'm not going to vote for anybody like Kamala. And it's like, okay, is it because she's black or because she's a woman? Probably both. But that guy like he literally for the first 5 minutes of the call was making a really good case for why Trump sucks. Which was fascinating to hear somebody who was legitimately mad at Trump for starting the war in Iran, legitimately mad for not making groceries cheaper, legitimately mad for not properly releasing the Epstein files. And I just thought, like, how many people like that are there? Like, the polling data is hard to read. Trump somehow lobbied against Gallup reporting the presidential approval rating, which, like, Gallup is like, you kind of average all the approval ratings, but Gallup was a big one. So that's like kind of devastating that after so many years that like gold standard of like checking the president's approval rating has gone. Because I guess it's what I was talking to my buddy about on the phone before I started this live is just that like what she brought up is that this debacle with him like posting the pictures of him as Jesus or the Pope or whatever has lost a lot of people. And yeah, right, like that's, I mean, for all I say that Trump does things that should be disqualifying for him as a politician, I do think feuding with the Pope is like still actually a thing that Trump could do that could piss people off. Patty says, in the grand scheme of life on Earth, you're worried about that fucking that fucking Epstein files? Yeah, dude. Like, I am. fuck you for not being concerned about them. You don't care about children. That's my accusation to you, Patty. Like, sorry, my feelings are now hurt because I don't like encountering a person who doesn't care about children. It makes me very sad. But I'm kind of not into that tonight. This is just we'll talk later. Yeah, now people are bad. Yeah, okay, Dazans, you said the same thing twice. I consider that spam. You're getting muted. You're getting muted tonight. You try again tomorrow. Anyway, Tom Scotland wants to talk. Wonder if that's a play on Tom Scott. Oh, there are the viewers. Now, when did 30 people show up? Hello, everybody. What's up, Tom Scotland? Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm like forgetting all my rules. How old are you?
I'm 20.
I believe you. What's up? I do hear the accent. Are you an American? Or like, do you live in America?
No, I'm English.
I'll take the call. I normally would say that I'm only talking to Americans, but I'm kind of just chilling tonight. What's up? What do you want to talk about?
It's early, so I thought I might just try and jump in. Is the audio okay? Because I'm through my headphones.
You sound pretty good, actually. I'd say it's above average.
Well, it's better for £60. So, what do you think... Once the whole Israel issue and Iran issue sorted, do you think Trump's going to apologise for what he said about the rest of the world or keep on the same track?
I don't think that there has ever been a documented case of Donald Trump, the politician, apologizing for literally anything. I'm not sure. It's quite the accusation. Like, I don't think that you can find Donald Trump apologizing for a thing that he did in the last 10 years. His life prior, maybe, sure. But I think that part of his strong arm, tyrannical charisma is the never admitting any fault. I'd love for the chat to find an example if Trump has apologized for literally anything at all. But now that it does, at least, from the headlines of today, it does seem like the war is calming down. Who knows? By Monday, right? By Monday, Trump will have started it back up for some nonsense reason. We have no idea. He's so inconsistent on everything. You can't trust any of these deals.
He was given an offer and denied it because it didn't meet his terms.
Yeah, I mean, it's all inconsistent. But let's hypothetically say that if the war is over right now, right, like the strait stays open, we stop, we come to some kind of peace agreement that's like lasting by Monday or whatever. Like, let's just say that happens. Maybe that did happen today. I worked all day. I have not even been following the news today. I'm unprepared for this live. Let's just say that happened. There's this problem that happens where when things become more expensive, the companies that stand to profit from them getting more expensive do this dirty deed, which is that if gas prices are going to go up $1 a gallon, that's so much, that's such a sudden change in gas prices that the gas companies will quietly go, it's actually $1.20. They'll like, if it's going to go up so much, if like the difference between 5 cents and 10 cents on a gallon, psychologically to most people is actually bigger than the difference between $1 and $1.20. Because it's between the two, it's like, oh, I care about these little minute changes. I watch the pump at the corner. But if it goes up catastrophically, it just goes up catastrophically. And a person thinks, oh, it went up catastrophically, whether it goes up $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever. So companies do this thing where they tend to, this happened with egg prices under avian flu. The egg companies had record profits during avian flu when eggs were expensive because they abused that little piece of consumer psychology precisely. They inflated the egg prices more than they needed to, and they kept them high longer than they needed to. Now they're back down because they don't have an excuse. It's been a long time since the avian flu happened. But I think that we're going to see that with gas prices, and I think we're going to see that with everything that gas prices affect the price of, which is, unfortunately, literally everything. So I think it's going to be a bummer to watch how slowly gas prices at the pump normalize, and I think we're still going to see a lot of the really nasty inflation. So I know the question was, is Trump going to apologize for it? But I guess the talking point I wanted to say on it is like, damage is done. He fucked up the global economy for 2026 in a way that it's going to be 2027 before it feels like it's gone.
Well, I was only born in 2006, which is after Iraq. But it feels like every US president, it feels like it's built into the Constitution that every US president has to have something in the Middle East. Because I've not been alive long enough to know anything else. Because I was born at the height of the war on terror.
I'd say Biden's an exception.
And then it was Afghanistan. Well, yeah. But To be fair, he was busy with the COVID pandemic.
Well, no, he finally ended the war in Afghanistan, which was a pretty unpopular thing because
That is true, yeah.
It went poorly, but I actually was on his side with that one because I think he ripped a Band-Aid off. I think do you want to do the popular thing and not having an embarrassing, scandalous exit from a country, or do you want to procrastinate that to a future president and cause much more suffering and expense along the way by kicking the can down the road? So the country fell literally before our last plane left, and honestly, after 20 years of occupation and us trying to set up a government there, that's kind of fucking on them. Sorry, Afghanistan, but fucking, I mean, it's not your fault, Afghanistan. It's sorry to the caller. Sorry to you, Tom, because it's actually your country's fault for drawing those borders the way you did 100 years ago. So I'm gonna
actually, that's our fault. The English, it's our fault.
That one, okay, you can admit that was the British who did that one.
It was our fault.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't think Afghanistan's going to be. That's the sad thing about the Middle East is that the white people drew the boundaries 100 years ago, white imperialists, and the boundaries were this looks good on the map. Whereas if you look at a country like Afghanistan, it's a bunch of historically regional tribal groups that don't get along with each other that are now all sometimes cut off from their neighbors because they cut the line, the property, the boundaries, the borders right through these certain tribal groups. And then of course in other cases you have people who are supposed to be united as Afghanis, but they hate each other for some weird historical religious reason I'm not educated on. And that's the result of the British doing that.
It was essentially give us spices and we'll be back in 100 years and we'll give you a railway.
Yeah. I mean, British imperialism British imperialism fucked up the map. A lot of history happened in the latter half of the 20th century that was bad. We had this 20-year war with them, and we spent 20 years of this occupation trying to establish a government that could actually control the territory, and we just failed, and it cost a lot of money. So I actually like that Biden gave up on that because that's a little situation where I'll be this project's not working. Let's
which I think you're
America first maybe on that one.
Massive detail, which in doing so killed over whatever the TikTok word is, unalived.
I think we can say killed. I try to push back on the censorship, and I think I'm okay saying the word killed. Yeah, of course. So right, the war. Yeah, I'm so jaded at talking about war. I'm so jaded at talking about war that of course, when I say expense, I'm kind of referring to all of it, like literal financial expense and suffering and destruction, death.
I know that Camp Bastion in Helmand, it cost over 30 million to take it all apart.
Yeah, no, it's a mess. I appreciate your thoughts, but I am going to move on because I have another caller. Oh no, wait, I'm not going to move on. He left. Sorry, he just left as I said that. You can hang out. Sorry.
With his foreign policy, how do you think he could improve? Let's go worst case scenario and he stays in charge. How could he improve?
Trump, if Trump was to try to fix the mess he created, what would he do? I guess my answer to that in a diplomatic sense comes to the problem that I just described in an economic sense, which is that the damage is done, right? America is not only an embarrassment with it being led by Trump, and we've damaged all these relationships with our international partners, the friendly ones and the unfriendly ones. It's going to be hard for there to be good diplomatic relations with not just any America that's run by Trump, but any America that's run by Republican leadership that hasn't held Trump accountable. If Trump has a heart attack and dies, or just his term finishes, and let's say some worst case scenario, we manage to elect somebody like JD Vance as president next or something. If this continues, I don't think that's likely I don't think that's possible unless the elections are not free and fair, because that's it's just so unpopular. But they're nobody's going to want to do business with us unless we have some kind of catastrophic change, because we fucked up in a way. And even if we have a more reasonable president, the rest of the world is still going to be mad at the American people for supporting a president as egregious as Trump for as long as we have in the democratic way that we have. Because the fact that here we are 10 years after he did the ridiculous amount of blunders that should have put him in prison in the first term, we're still electing the guy. That's insane. So I think the diplomatic relations are kind of burned, and that's a hard question. I don't know what Trump could do to fix anything. I mean, we're losing favor with NATO. it's
Well, he called NATO useless today, I think.
yeah, he made
also
NATO useless
said,
by invading Iran because if he hadn't invaded Iran, then NATO would have defended us if Iran attacked us. But because we started it, we lost the support of NATO. Article 5 doesn't apply if you start the conflict. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna chew on that because it's an interesting thought experiment. But I do not have a good answer to it right now. Because the best thing he could do is step down, or
It's the way I like to approach everything because. It's like, look at it from both sides. It's like, yes, he's terrible and has all the makings of a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
But what could he do for the betterment? Pretty much nothing, but we can try.
Yeah, I mean, and he's caused so much domestic economic damage that, like I explained earlier with the gas prices, but also the ripple effect of the tariffs, and especially in consideration of the whole taco thing. Trump always chickens out. It's like bad negotiation to be that inconsistent because nobody's going to trust to deal with Trump because he does chicken out. Not always. The fact that 10% of the time he continues to do the egregious thing for a really, really long time. It's like, so he's unpredictable and wildly damaging to the country. It's hard, I don't know. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about that tomorrow while I'm at work. I'm gonna chew on that one because it is a good question.
I think
in a theoretical sense, because obviously I want him to be in prison. I'm not really excited about any version where he tries. He's not gonna try to make amends.
He's an adjudicated rapist that has committed war crimes, or at least aided and abetted a war criminal. So.
Yeah. He has committed a lot of war crimes. I would say dramatically more than the average U.S. president.
Has he committed them, or has Hegseth committed them, and he's just aiding and abetting?
Well, I think that threatening to commit war crimes. I don't know if I would be interested in asking some kind of constitutional lawyer. It wouldn't even be a constitutional lawyer. I don't know how you litigate war crimes because international law
should be dragged through the Hague, but.
Well, I guess what I was going to say is just that I don't know how legal scholars might think about this. People who understand international law better than I do. People who understand the Geneva Convention better than I do. But to my understanding, threatening to commit war crimes is a war crime, right?
I believe so.
In the same way that threatening to commit violence is violence. If I point a weapon at your head and I say, what I want you to do. That's a violent thing I'm doing.
I'd hope it is.
Well, I sit on here and I argue with people about what violence is. I had a guy call in the other day who told me that if I destroyed a mailbox, that would be violent. He gave that as an example, like a total gotcha. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm sitting here trying to tell you that I don't consider anything violence if the victim is property. It has to be a sentient creature, living thing. Violence has victims.
Our laws over here are much different.
Oh, really? How so?
You have to be. So, you can be arrested for drunk, inebriated in operation of a vehicle for riding a bicycle while drunk.
Well, that's true in some places
here. And they have to be extremely precise and caution you at the right time. Otherwise, it's just a bit silly.
Well, I just
be done for horse and cart.
Yeah, but the point I was making is that I just don't consider anything assault unless there's a person that or an animal that is assaulted. But that's something that comes up a lot in these debates because Trump supporters think that it's so violent when we liberals break property, and it's like that's not what violence is. So and for me, I would let a city burn to save one life. Assuming nobody's going to die in the fire, of course.
January 6th wasn't violent. That's a whole other thing. The fact that they can watch a horde of people attacking many overwhelming law enforcement and attack. Imagine if we did that at the Whipple building here in Minneapolis. If we just swarmed law enforcement and actually. Now they would. I can't say what they would do to us, but they would do the thing to us that they did to Alex Preddy. It would not go well for us. But that's the amazing thing. I cannot believe that didn't happen to the J6ers. I was watching live on television, and I remember thinking, I'm about to watch a lot of people get unalived because look at what they're doing. Surely you get unalived if you do that. And I was just standing watching this live stream, laying in bed, what am I? Why are they getting through the windows? I was blown away that the Capitol Police didn't
they did have to eventually unalive a person. If they had just done that on the front lawn, they could have avoided a lot of the destruction. Because I think a country should unalive people if they break into their capital. I don't even think that's an American value. I think that's just sensible security.
They posed a reasonable threat to life.
Yeah.
As they were screaming at one officer, the one that died, kill him, take his gun, shoot him. Which, one thing that a lot of...
All right, I appreciated talking with you, but I'm going to let you go because he was not careful enough with how he said that a second ago. So I'm going to protect my account. We're going to talk to TTV Blueberry Balls, which is an interesting username. For everybody watching, I'm kind of just chilling because I just worked for 16 hours after sleeping for 3 hours after doing a gig. And I'm trying to stream every day, so I am not in the mood to like crank my brain trying to track the bullshit of talking to a Trump supporter. So I am just like vibing for probably an hour, probably 40 more minutes. And then I'm going to go the fuck to sleep. And then I'm going to wake up and edit video all day because I have a media shitstorm that I am dealing with. I got to go troll Savannah Hernandez more. Anyway, follow me on Instagram for that type of stuff. But, oh, man. What are people arguing about in the chat? All right. How old are you, Blueberry Balls?
I'm 43.
I don't believe you. Yeah. That timbre, man. You don't have the timbre of a 43-year-old. He could have said 23, and I would have been like, let me ask some questions an adult would know the answer to. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Conviction doesn't mean prison time. That's not what somebody is saying, that Trump wasn't convicted because if he was convicted, he would have gone to prison. But that's absurd. You get convicted if you like have a speeding ticket and have to pay it in court. That's a conviction. You get convicted of speeding. But we don't put people in jail for speeding, generally. We just fine them like a couple $100. You don't understand the law. That's the frustrating thing about arguing legal issues with Trump supporters. It's pretty much a requirement to support Trump that you don't understand the law. So yeah, the person who thinks that he wasn't convicted because he doesn't go to prison, I don't know, dude. What do I tell you? Google it. Like, do you believe me, guy in the chat? I'll debate with you in the chat for like a second because I actually don't want you to call in. Yeah, probably rage baiting. It's hard to tell, you know? Like, it's a little frustrating that I fall for the rage baiting sometimes. My dog wants attention. Can we get some W's in the chat for Noodle? It's hard to tell who's rage baiting because, like, I'll have an hour-long conversation where I get to know somebody really well, and I'm like, nah, they're not rage baiting. They really are that stupid. I talked to them that long. But then every now and then I'll make it like 5 minutes where it's like 5 minutes in I realize I've been got, and I'm just like, okay, you're trolling, but you're not actually that dense. But some people just are, man. Like people tell me absolutely ridiculous, silly things that they believe. I cannot understand it at all. It's you know, I mean, I also have people tell me that he wasn't convicted and that it was a liberal jury or whatever. I'm so sick of debating the issues that have been litigated on. Can we talk about the stuff he hasn't successfully been either charged or found civilly liable for? Like, there's like the courts did their job on that. Like a jury was, a jury of his peers, you found him unanimously guilty of a crime that many judges have ruled was a rape. But we're gonna have that conversation again. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's Friday night going? I want Trumpers to explain how they are for law and order and support the felon in the same breath. Yeah, they just don't believe the felonies. I'll tell you, that's the answer, because that's what every single person says, that those felonies are bullshit. Oh, a bunch of trumped up charges. They should have been misdemeanors anyway. And I'm like, oh, so you're still okay with them doing the crime. You just don't classify them as felonies. Funny. That echoes another issue. Like, oh, okay. So like, it wasn't, you're saying it wasn't rape, it was sexual abuse. Why are you okay with them sexually abusing somebody? And then they move the goalpost back to saying they didn't believe the jury or because it's a liberal jury from New York. It's just the same bullshit over and over and over again. I kind of been crashing out lately about E. Jean Carroll because I'm just so fucking sick of talking about it. The fucking dress is like the one piece of evidence that everybody fucking stands on. And I went down a rabbit hole for like an hour on my phone today because I had some downtime at work. I had an unusually long break at one of my jobs today, so I had like an hour to just sit, and I was like, yeah. I had a call the other night where somebody was asking me about the E. Jean Carroll dress, this dress that has probably Trump's DNA on it, but he refused to supply his DNA to prove that it wasn't his. How suspicious. And the claim is that the dress was like, that the designer of the dress says that the dress wasn't released or like marketed until like 2 or 3 years after the assault happened. So I dug. I thought, where did this come from? Because that's an interesting detail. I can't just hand wave that away if that's true. So I couldn't find it in the court documents, and I couldn't find a single reputable argument. Like no article. Like not even on the right. Like Fox News doesn't talk about that. Fox News doesn't have an article that says that. CBS doesn't have an article that says like nobody talks about it. But I found a bunch of forum posts about it and like random like shitty like dumb bullshit conspiracy theory media places had and then I figured it out. I found it. The source on the claim that the dress didn't exist at the time that the assault happened is a fucking Truth Social from Trump. He said that he confirmed with the designer of the dress that it didn't exist at the time, and these dumb fucks believe him. Bananas. And I hear that argument almost every single time I talk about E. Jean Carroll. They bring up the fact that the dress didn't exist when it happened, and Trump just made that up, told it to the public, and people fucking believe him. I'll bring Golden up. Sorry, I see you in the chat. I just wanted to complain about the dress thing because that's the rabbit hole I went down today to enlighten myself further about how to clown on Republicans on TikTok Live. Golden 0216. How old are you?
What's up, man? I'm 21.
I believe you. What do you want to talk about?
Honestly, man, I don't like Trump anymore because he lied to us during his campaign pretty clearly, right?
Yeah.
He said, no new wars, I'm a president of peace. I mean, he goes out of his way to start a war with Iran. And that has direct effects on the American consumer, but also the sort of broader global, destabilizing the Middle East, right?
Well, in breaking that promise, it actually helped him even further break another promise, which is that he was going to address affordability, which he has changed his mind on. Apparently, it's a Democratic hoax that people are broke, even though people are broke and can't afford their food and shit. But yeah, he's making everything more expensive by making global fuel prices more expensive, fucking up the global economy. So, I guess like here's how I really want to handle this, because I've got one. I got somebody who read the sign and actually listened. Did you vote for Trump?
I did vote for Trump, yes.
Yeah, okay. So so when you say that he's like lost your support, I guess I just want to know how did that manifest for you? Was there a day? Like, do you remember sitting at the table watching the news and thinking, "Oh my God, he did what?" Like, tell me about it, dude.
So it wasn't necessarily like one day, right? I pretty consistently supported him over Kamala Harris, primarily because I didn't like Kamala Harris, right? And that's just more of a personal, like, I don't agree with a lot of her policies, but also it's her personality that I don't really necessarily like. And that's really me, so that's why I voted.
Okay.
So there wasn't like one moment where I said like, oh, I don't like Trump anymore. It was really that I sort of noticed over time, like, hey, he promised this or he promised that, and that's not actually what happened. I think that he's serving his own interests more than me, and that's not very faithful, especially when he talks about a third term. I don't really like that specifically.
It's among the, like, I wish I could tell you that that's the most unconstitutional thing that he's done, but it's not, because he kind of like jokes about it, which is terrible, right? Like no president should like casually allude to and sell merch about violating the Constitution in a way that is self-beneficial by giving themselves a longer term of power. But he does executive orders that directly violate constitutional amendments, which is like actually him doing a thing instead of him just like clowning and grifting and selling merch or whatever. So like, yeah, it sounds to me like you and I probably disagree about some pretty fundamental shit. If you think that Kamala Harris's personality was so bad that you should have voted for Trump, but it does seem to me like you're not slamming your eyes. You know, you're not doing nah, he's fine. I'm not like because you saw it. You're right. He broke so many promises. Like a dozen major campaign promises, all of them pretty much. What is a campaign promise he's kept in this first year, realistically? I mean, you can't even say he's doing a good job with deportation. I was about to say, he's not doing a good job with that at all.
He's not actually right.
Because Dean Withers like kind of enlightened me on this, because I like agreed that it was bad, that the reason the border crossings are low is because he's violating people's civil rights and human rights, and if that's the the reason for the amount of illegal immigration, because that is one thing that we can point to, and like a lot of people will call it a success. The rate of which people are coming into the country illegally is catastrophically lower than it was in prior, even if we compare it to like a normal presidency, because there was an unusual amount during Biden because of the post-COVID period.
So what I would argue about that is not that it's because of Trump, it's because of the media coverage of Trump. So Obama deported way more people than Trump has, but illegal border crossings during the Obama presidency do not show a trend in decreasing. However, when this sort of mass deportation has been televised in the way that it has been under Trump, border crossing has been significantly decreased, right? I think that it's necessarily media coverage, not the presidential action.
Just really quick to finish where I was going with that. The issue is that even if we want to sell it, not me personally, because I don't want to celebrate this personally, but like even if we want to celebrate the fact that he's like grossly reduced the amount of illegal immigration. I guess I will celebrate that, because I don't want there to be illegal immigration. I just realized I said something that's like not true to my beliefs. I don't want there to be illegal immigration. I want the system to be better. I want more people to be able to immigrate legally. But anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds. My point is that this is the Dean Withers argument that's like, oh, this is the other elephant in the room, is that he's not doing it with policy. Like, never mind how we feel about the civil rights violations. I think you and I might disagree about that, because you think it's just media coverage. But it's not, because it's not policy, because it's not like an actual on the books law or policy or enforcement measure or anything like that stops people from coming in. It's just going to start up again when he's gone. Like, he didn't actually do anything. He's just being so scary that people aren't coming here. Whether you think it's the media, I think it's actually scary.
Well, do you think that Obama deported more people than Trump? Because he did, factually.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he didn't tear gas any old ladies doing it, though.
Right, no, but we can agree on that, right?
Yeah. Obama deported a lot of people. So
if the fear was deportation that prevented illegal border crossing...
No, the fear isn't deportation. That's not what I'm saying. That's not...
The fear is being...
like murdered or violently assaulted, or like having, or like even if you try to come in legally, like that rate's down, because people are afraid of being subjugated for their race, because it's legal for border enforcement to detain you now because of your race or your accent, which is like totally racist and fucked up and un-American.
That can't be the primary factor. It can only be a supporting factor. There was a 2025 Supreme Court case.
I'm not like super interested in debating that kind of minutia. My point is that, like, if you look at what's going on legally with the protections for minorities in America right now, minorities are looking at America and saying fuck that, which the Republicans are celebrating. But I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't be the scary country that you don't want to move to because of all these civil rights violations, because of all these human rights violations. That's bad. It's a bad look. Not good for fucking anybody. And we got our civil liberties violated along the way too, which is like itself bad.
Sure, you're right. I'm not trying to debate you about specific topics. I wanted to educate you about a specific term that you used, because you did say something that was incorrect. You said that Border Patrol agents could detain someone based on their skin color, and that's not actually true.
You're denying the Kavanaugh stops. You're denying the Supreme Court ruling that was authored by Brett Kavanaugh that allows race or the accent with which people speak to be a factor, to be like a sufficient cause for detention for ICE agents?
Right, so that specifically is not a cause, but it is a factor that can be considered.
It shouldn't be a factor to be considered.
In addition to cause? Do you not believe so?
Well, I mean, first of all, I will just point out that in practice, they are detaining people just for the color of their skin. Like, that does happen quite a lot.
If you could provide me like a actual resource of that happening where it was solely based on the color of their skin versus detainment, I mean, that would be interesting to me genuinely, but I haven't seen something like that before.
Let's see if I can. Let's see how good I am at Googling. I'm going to try to find a particular video. I need to download so much more of this stuff. Why am I only getting 3 Google results for this? ICE agents don't run. There's this one video in particular. I'm going to see if I can find it, where this guy's walking down the street and a bunch of ICE agents pull up and they say, "Don't run," and they like swarm him and grab him, which is the sort of thing you see a lot, and we saw it a lot here during Metro Surge.
So they said, "Don't run."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be quick on my resources because I haven't done enough work on putting together ICE violations in like a library that I can show people quickly. That's like on my to-do list.
No, it's no worries. If you don't mind, while you find that, I'd love to tell you what I was talking about before I found the Supreme Court case. It was
I'm going to scroll. You can talk. I think I can. I have a hard time talking and researching at the same time, but I'm okay at listening and researching. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, for sure. So I was referencing Vasquez, Perdomo versus Nuem, and that was allowing ICE agents to consider race, ethnicity, language, and accent as factors for detaining individuals. Right? So the ruling enables roving patrols to use these factors to establish suspicion, but it does not allow them to be a primary factor. So apparent race or ethnicity, as well as Spanish language usage, work location as factors to support reasonable suspicion, but that does not essentially make them reasonable suspicion on their own.
When was that ruling?
That was 2025. It's Vasquez, Perdomo.
Well, yeah, no, but wait, but this is all too, 2025 is most of Trump's currently brief term. So, like, when in 2025?
September 2025.
Yeah, when was the Kavanaugh ruling?
I'm
getting sidetracked. I'm not going to keep looking for this video because I need to scrub through the ICE encounters subreddit and just library it. But anyway,
so Justice Kavanaugh argued in this case specifically that while race alone isn't enough, it can be a relevant factor with others. So this might be what you're talking about in 2025 September. This is Kavanaugh's direct ruling that race alone isn't enough but can be a relevant factor.
I think that the ruling for Kavanaugh stops was after that, though.
You might be right, but this is the only case that I've seen about this specifically, and this is a specific argument that Kavanaugh made about this topic.
And you're saying Pedro Vasquez Perdomo versus Kristi Noem?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Pedro Vasquez, that's the case? Perdomo?
No, it's Vasquez versus Noem, yeah. Vasquez Perdomo.
Right, okay, yeah. So this, I think potentially you may have just been fed some bullshit about what this Supreme Court ruling meant, because that is exactly the Supreme Court ruling in which Kavanaugh argued that it is sufficient cause.
No, Kavanaugh argued specifically, I can use this exact verbiage, race alone isn't enough, it can be a relevant factor.
Sorry, I'm also reading about this just to get the facts right on it. So, but I'm also, this is also a fuck it stream, so I kind of don't care if the audience is bored by me Googling. I'm kind of just going with the flow tonight.
Very fair. I mean, do you have a specific source you want me to send you? I mean, I could send you the SupremeCourt.gov opinion. I could show you NPR. I mean, there's several sources that confirm my exact
you know what? I'm actually just gonna leave this open in my stream editor, and that means when I churn through this tomorrow, it will get researched, and I'll actually add that to my bookmarks. I should get better educated about the exact language of that ruling and the implications of it. It's one of the things about doing these debates is that like I there's a lot of situations like that where it's like I have to make the call to give myself the L and be like, it's bad for the stream if I spend 12 minutes reading. So I think this one's going to require me to read for 12 minutes or something like that. So I'm not going to do that right now.
No, I got you. It's no worries, man.
I'm kind of hypothetically like talking to the ether, not to you. I'm just saying like I sometimes have to say like, this just isn't a good use of time. But, you know, the thing that I have to do, and this is the reason I'm getting better at this so quickly, is that I leave this open and then I have the process that's before the next time I stream, I have to go through all of this and like it's a to-do list of all the shit I have to figure out. So I go and dig and bookmark and stuff like that. So when I pull stuff up very, very quickly, it's because I've done that. So now I'll have to do that for Kavanaugh stops because I'm just not educated enough on exactly the nature and litigation of that ruling. So you've given me some homework, which is good.
I'm not fully educated on the subject either, but I do encourage you to read that specific Supreme Court case.
I guess what I can say is that I do know that in practice, that's what happens. I mean,
in practice versus legally proven is definitely a different standard of proof. I mean, as I'm sure you know.
Sure, but I can still say it's bad that the Supreme Court ruled in a thing. I mean, I still think that the way you're describing the ruling, I still think that's horrible and racist and unethical. So, like, it's like sounds like.
Sorry, you think I'm racist and unethical?
No. The way like you disagree about what the effect of the ruling is. I'm saying that regardless of which one of us is right, the ruling is bad. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, because if you're saying it doesn't, it can't be the sole thing, but it's a contributing factor, I say that's still bad. It shouldn't be.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So again, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, every now and then I say that to the guest where I'm like, I'm not going to research that or fact check it, because even if you're right, it's still bad. It's just different than what I said. So we're just going to move on. Is sometimes a way I save time on the live of like, of not like going for it. Somebody's saying Thomas Massey for 2028, which like I guess go for it. Like that's always a possibility, right? Are the Republicans just like actually going to flip and go for an anti-Trumper? No, I don't think so. No, I don't. I think that's ridiculous. That's about as likely as the current administration invoking the 25th.
Man, I think what the move is they're going to try to elect JD Vance with Trump as vice president, which is clearly unconstitutional, but I think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, that. See that, like I've heard that he can't do that, but that's actually one where like I'm just being honest with you. Like I've heard both sides say that, and I'm like I believe them, but like I guess I just haven't read which amendment is it that says he can't run twice? Like the 27th, or is it?
It's I'm not sure actually, but I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not actually 100% sure.
Yeah, because I don't know how that would work. I mean, I suppose
everybody said they can't do it.
I agree with that. If I was on the Supreme Court, I would vote in favor of making.
Well, no, I mean, if you were nominated by the person trying to do it, I'm not sure you'd say the same.
Are you doubting my integrity?
No, I'm doubting the integrity of the current Supreme Court that was nominated by Trump and sort of owed a debt to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally, I think that the fact that Supreme Court justices are nominated by or appointed by the president, I think that's a glitch in our separation of powers. I remember there being
Robert Bork.
Yeah, I remember there being a historical reason for that, and I used to be better educated on that. Man, I really need to read up on my Supreme Court. Of the three branches, it is the most complicated and like hard to understand exactly how it all works, because it is like we have these 9 people who are appointed who make all these decisions. So the history of it is so complicated. All these different individual rulings.
If you'd like me to tell you about it real quick, I can.
Sure. I don't know if I'll believe you. I need to take everything you say with a grain of salt, because you've told me some things that I think are flatly wrong. So
no, I got you.
I will listen. I will listen, though.
I encourage you to do your own research, but from what I know about it, I'm not claiming to be 100% factual. I'm claiming to this is what I my head knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. Robert Bork, he was in the mid to late 1900s, and he was a Supreme Court justice. And before Vance, Supreme Court nominations had been primarily bipartisan, but Robert Bork, he specifically had several sexual assault allegations which were credible against him. And the opposing party essentially didn't allow him to become a member of the Supreme Court. They vetoed it. And as a result of that, Supreme Court decisions became politicized, because that was the first instance of any party specifically rejecting a Supreme Court nomination. And since then, no Supreme Court nomination has been bipartisan. So it's a little bit of a stretch to say that was the cause, but it was absolutely the first instance of a non-bipartisan Supreme Court nomination either being rejected or accepted.
I'm glancing at his Wikipedia page, and it seems to me like you're telling the truth. So I'm going to leave this open, and I'm going to do some digging later. How do you feel about Wikipedia? That's something that's always interesting to talk about on lives. Because
here's the thing about Wikipedia, man. Everyone says it's not a good source. I think it's one of the best sources out there.
Yeah, I argue for it all the time. One thing I say is it's not a source; it's a resource. It is a place that you can go to find sources quickly. But what it will teach you is general knowledge, and it just actually does have these days a wildly solid reputation for not allowing bullshit on there.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people out there who have nothing else better to do than edit Wikipedia.
Well, and if you want to, I don't know, if I told you, something about Turkmenistan, and you were like, oh, man, I don't know anything about Turkmenistan. If you went and read the Wikipedia article for Turkmenistan, if that's what you did over the next, 5 poops when you're sitting on the toilet, it's just you just churned through it, just read the Wikipedia article on Turkmenistan, but you'd end up like a surprisingly educated person on Turkmenistan. There's a bunch of uncontroversial shit where if it's just something you don't know about, reading the Wikipedia article for it is like an incredible way to just get a general understanding of it. And it is something that these days almost every Jeopardy champion says that they do. It's like they, instead of like goofing off on their phone, it's like you can go down these rabbit holes of reading on Wikipedia where they just make everything a blue link. So you're just like, oh, what's that? And then you click it.
Yeah.
And then either you go back to keep reading what you're, or like you get lost and you like rabbit hole it. And like doing that is like really good for your education because Wikipedia is so strict about not having misinformation on there that it's very rare that you'll pick up a piece of misinformation fucking around on Wikipedia like that. Whereas if you fuck around talking to ChatGPT, it will figure out your personality and start feeding you bullshit that you like. That's fucking
definitely
insidious. Wikipedia doesn't care who you are. It actually isn't. It's like an old school website where you get to see the same Wikipedia article that I do. It's actually the same for everybody. Almost no website works that way anymore. Think of a website that people think of a popular website where if we both go to the same URL, it shows us the same page.
Right. There's not very many websites like that currently, which still exist. It's sort of a relic in that sense.
Oh, is
like
Santana in here? My goodness. Sorry.
No, you're good. Have you ever seen Wikipedia speedrunning?
Oh, is that the game where you try to get from one place to another? Where it's like we're gonna start on Turkmenistan, and you have to get to the page for toaster, and you have to figure out how to do it. Love that game. I'm super good at it. Actually,
I love that.
I was like the champion of that in high school when we were goofing off.
No, me too. I love that.
Yeah, Santana, I sent you a message. Please read it. I sent you a message about 5 hours ago. I don't do public pestering, but I did send Santana a message. Nobody pester Santana. Do not pester on my behalf. Please do not pester on my behalf. Don't. No,
I mean, I definitely, I do encourage you to look more into yourself. At least saw Robert Bork and his Supreme Court nomination. I think it's very relevant in the sense that I think that influences a lot of our current politics because the Supreme Court is such a sort of vital lever for power in the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's been shaped a lot, in my opinion, by that one single decision. So I would definitely encourage you to look into that on your own.
Yeah. I mean what I said. Like I have a whole Chrome profile where it's like the one that I use for the screen capture for this live. So like I can pop it up right now. And it's like this Wikipedia article that I'm looking at, and I'd make the font bigger if I was showing it to somebody so they can read it on their phone screen. So I have this, and it's just a burner account, so like it shows the email in the corner sometimes. It's an account I made just for this so that I like didn't like dox myself by accident. But what I do is throughout a live, I end up with a bunch of tabs open, and then it's like one of the background chores of, frankly, doing this well, which is that then before I go live the next time, I have to go through all of those tabs, and whatever it is, it's like, do I need to finish reading this thing and understand it better? Does this tab represent a concept like a claim I couldn't find good evidence for, so now I need to sit and do some research? Whatever it is, I left the tab open for a reason, do the work, and then the next time that comes up, I have a bookmark for it, or I like understand it well enough that I don't even need the bookmark because I just like found the answer I was looking for. And then and I've been doing that for 3 months now. So after 3 months, it's like it's getting pretty good. It's getting rarer and rarer that a new thing comes up because unfortunately, like every Trump supporter has the same fucking half dozen stupid arguments that are wrong. And I'm pretty good at those 6 arguments. So I kind of sit and have calls, and it's like exciting when there's a new one. But
yeah, definitely. I respect you a lot for that. I mean, a lot of people on here, they don't do any kind of research. I mean, it's mostly just like based on the vibe of like what they think is true or not. Like
I've developed something of a following of Trump supporters who recognize I'm a good faith debater. That I like, you know, they disagree with me on some stuff. I've convinced some of them on certain things, but like. It's always interesting to me when somebody like debates with me for a half hour and like really gets heated, get really upset and like really crashed out or like whatever, however the debate goes. And then at the end of it, they're like, all right, you know, this has been fun and you're clearly a very educated man. And I'm just like, how do you think you won the debate if at the end of it, your assessment of me is that I'm clearly a very educated man and very well spoken? And it's like, yeah, those are the things that help with debating, which is douchey for me to say about myself. But the fact of the matter is, like, I do have like an academic and employment history that it's not a surprise to anybody in my life that I'm good at this.
Well, I think it's mostly the sense that you can have differing opinions with someone and still be equally educated or equally intellectual in the sense that some things are genuinely based on your own personal life experiences or your own inherent moral philosophy, right?
Yeah. I think that most of the issues that I discuss with Trump or that I discuss about Trump and like the whole current political sphere, like the type of stuff I talk about in my lives, most of the time it is that people they're just factually wrong about something. Because if you say that you don't want you want all the illegal immigrants deported, and you don't want amnesty because they're such dangerous, violent criminals. You're wrong. They're not. Like I could see if they were.
Well, statistically, they commit less crimes.
Right. If they were murdering like per capita 10 times as many people, I'd be like, holy shit, really? That's fucking crazy. What do we do about that? But they're not. It's actually fewer. So like that's a situation where no, we actually agree on the ethics of the matter. You're just misinformed. And I would argue most of the things that I disagree with people on these lives are of that sort of thing. Every now and then I actually just run into one where like for example, there's one argument that I make sometimes where people will say that even though my argument for amnesty is a good one, they are not okay with rewarding criminals, and these are people who broke the law. So therefore, we must deport them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And my counter argument to that is one that's very difficult to give on TikTok because I have to be very careful. It's that for like almost 100 years, a particular recreational activity was illegal. Some people abbreviate it trees. Can't say the word though. And the idea like that it's the reduction by absurdity where it's like, oh, should we just have not made it legal because we made it legal because it was bad that it was illegal. It was like shitty. Like it's very popular.
We haven't made it legal federally.
No, yeah, and then there's a bunch of red states, but like clearly there's a trend happening where like it's being de-prohibited like everywhere. I live in a state where
it wasn't stopping anybody before, realistically.
I live in a place where it's like completely legal. There's no risk associated with me purchasing and using it and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that if you're gonna follow the argument that person's making for illegal immigration, no, we shouldn't have made it legal. We shouldn't, reward all these criminals who'd been doing it illegally all these years. And that to me is a reduction by absurdity. But sometimes those people agree with both arguments and they're like, no, it should still be illegal. Those people are bad or whatever. And I just don't agree with that because I think that a law can be so bad that we can just say like, sorry to everybody we've punished for this in history. Sorry to the people who've been living with fear that they'll be punished for this. Sorry for the people who worked hard to like do the right like legal thing, even though that's harder. And they like that's the other thing. It's like, oh, that's such a cheat. I have legal immigrants call into my show and say that they don't want to give amnesty to illegal immigrants because they will personally feel cheated. And my answer to that is a different argument, of course, which is just like, oh, you don't want it to be better for other people because it was bad for you? Fuck you. Like right. that's a thinking that way is I think maybe the sort of thing you're talking about where that argument isn't one that's based on a misunderstanding of facts. That's just a person who has a shitty belief, in my opinion.
Right. Sorry, I'm pouring myself a drink real quick, but sorry, what I was saying.
No, you're not. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm definitely not.
Definitely not. Drink of water, right?
Absolutely, a drink of water.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, everybody.
Oh, I will. Fuck! Am I out of? Oh fuck! Sorry,
out of water. Out of water.
I'm out of water.
Out of water. God. Oh no, dude!
Oh my god! I'm out of water.
Out of water. Bummer.
That is unfortunate. Sorry.
I'm gonna taunt you and drink my water.
Oh man, that's actually really sucks. But look, I think that I've definitely seen that before too. Like the people who say, "Oh, I was a legal immigrant. I don't think it should be as easy for these people." I don't agree with that. I think that it should absolutely be easier to immigrate, but I still firmly hold that we should prosecute illegal immigrants in the sense that I believe we have the right to dictate who does and who does not immigrate to our country. I think that's essential to our functioning as a country with autonomy over what we over our own country, necessarily over our own, we have the right to our land, we have the right to our social services. Not that illegal immigrants get social services.
Yeah,
but
I guess like I hear you because I actually agree with most of the words that you just said. Like I think that we should, as a country, should do that. Where our arguments differ is that we've just been fucking up at it so catastrophically for so long that it'd be like if you built a shed and the shed was so like completely like broken and crooked and there's holes in the walls and nothing was plumb or true and like when it rained everything inside of it got wet and you're sitting there just nailing boards to the shed trying to fix it and I'm like, dude, use the shed as firewood and build a new shed, and you're telling me like basically that you don't want to give up on all these people you've told can't be in the country. You have to like hold true to this shed for some reason. And I'm looking at it like, dude, fuck your shed. Like, just build a fucking better one. So that's what I think about the immigration system. Like, it's so broken that I don't care that it says that these people shouldn't be here, because who cares if a broken system says something about somebody? The system's fucking broken. Build a new system and then rejudge everybody. Start a new system, change the immigration law, amnesty, whatever, and then everybody who's currently here, give them a complete fresh start in the new shed, you know, and then just go from there. And then we can worry more about border control and worry more about like that system being enforced going forward.
Here's the thing about amnesty. I think that it delegitimizes your future shed, if you want to do a shed. I mean, I think it delegitimizes your future authority over this, because it essentially sends a message out that, hey, if you break our laws, we are not going to enforce them. If later on we decide like, oh, maybe not, you know?
Wait. I might have to drop you because I really want Sam to call in, because he's talking about Chris Ostrusko. And I'm the person who stopped him from going after her again after he pushed her over. I'm the guy who put my palm on his chest and said, back the fuck up. I also got in a lot of trouble for telling him I love him. I said, we love you, which, like, man, if somebody you know, because this dude is like a person I know, he's like in my life. Sorry for interrupting and derailing. I just do want to talk about this.
No, you're good. I mean, real quick, if I get some advice from you, bro, I just poured a shot of water, right? And water. I thought I had some more mixture, but I don't. So, like, what do I do with that?
Dude, man up and do it straight.
Man, it's like 3 glasses of water or shots of water.
Okay.
It's some very cheap water, if you know what I mean.
I enjoyed the call, but I'm going to let you go because I don't think you're doing a good enough job convincing us that it's water that you're drinking. But Sam, can you call in? I want to talk to you about Chris Ostrusko. I want to get your thoughts. Maybe this will become a debate live. Maybe I will get a really crazy call. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, like, because the left equal... Wait, the comment is really nonsensical. It says, because the left equal sign are people like Chris Ostrusko. I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that the left are like him, which, like, yeah, it's not unusual, I suppose, for somebody... Like, that's kind of the problem with the political divide, is that you say we're all the same, you know? Like, I don't actually think that all Trump supporters are the same. I think that there's a type of Trump supporter that calls into TikTok lives, and a lot of those guys are the same. But I think across the 80 or so million people who voted for him, no, I think there's a big diversity of no caps in the chat. One single warning for you, effing TikTok or whatever your username is. But yeah, I'm always suspicious when somebody says that a large group of people are all the same. Tell me more. Tell me more thoughts that you have about more groups. He left, isn't he? He's not here. Maybe he got scared when I started talking to him. But that's the other story. I haven't even brought that up to this guy. It's funny. It's funny having successful social media to the degree that I have for how long I've been doing it or whatever, because my face is pretty known as a debater, but then I do this separate thing where I go out and get really insane protest footage and like really insane ICE footage, and people don't know I'm the same guy. Because people watch, you know, the video of me breaking up, you know, the Savannah Hernandez conflict. I mean, it's on the news. It's everywhere. Everybody's stolen it and reposted it. Like, I didn't watermark it on purpose because I don't like watermarking journalistic content. Because, like, people should ask my permission and people should give me credit. But I kind of just don't want to create the barrier for that, because realistically, every random small account's going to do it. And I just couldn't field a million offers from people or whatever. So I just don't care with journalistic content. But yeah, so I like let that happen. But it's interesting that there's people who, like, because they don't pay attention in their feed, they like know me as a debater, and they've seen like maybe some of my ICE footage or the footage I got at the Whipple building with the Savannah Hernandez conflict, and they don't realize it's me. You know, they don't like recognize me outside in my leather jacket. But yeah, it's I have people in my real life. I have had somebody in a bar, because I'm a musician, I spend a lot of time in bars. I've had somebody pull out their phone and go, look how crazy this is. And it's my footage that I filmed of me putting my hand on Chris Ostrusko's chest and telling him, telling him back the fuck up. People forget that part, right? Like, I got sidetracked what I was saying earlier, but like, I got in a lot of trouble for telling, like, we love him, but like the analogy I give, like, Everybody is. Like, the guy's on my team, right? He's a fellow protester, fellow prominent protester, more prominent than myself. So it'd be like if you were at a bar and a friend in your group got into a fight and did something bad because Chris Estrusko did something bad, and you might do what I did. You might be like, no, bro, we love you. Stop. Get back. What are you doing? Which is what I did. And people say that I'm like a woman beater because I told the guy I love him. And it's just like, first of all, I love most people. Like it's not actually a really high barrier to be loved with me. You actually have to work pretty hard to make my shit list in such a way that I don't love you, because I'm just a caring individual. And I think that like everybody deserves compassion and like a good shot to be appreciated for their life. So like it's actually almost everybody that I love. And yeah, that was like a hard moment. I was really upset. And he was totally seeing red, like I was there. Like his head changed colors. The dude was blinded by rage, and he lost control of himself, and he did something horrible. And that sucks for everybody. So like, yeah, I just, I de-escalated. I showered him with love. And also assertively told a big crowd of people that the right is calling a dangerous frothing mob to back the fuck up, because I have some crowd control experience, and I don't know. Break up a fight when you see it. Was I one of those paid protesters? I like to joke that I am a paid protester because like I make a little money by protesting, because people like donate, and TikTok gives me some money. I'm gonna have enough followers on Instagram soon that Instagram's gonna start giving me money. I'm a little farther away on YouTube, but it's all cooking away. Link tree in the bio if you want to help. Because people literally do give me like a little bit of money, but I mean it's like not much. It's like not. In the 3 months that I have been doing this, I've made less than $1,000. Like it's not like, and it's only recently that it has actually started like. Like most of that $1,000 is in the last few weeks, or like I don't even know what it is. I have a spreadsheet, but so many different things. It's like $5 here from this thing, like some buy me a coffee, so like $10 on there, and then like Apple Pay randomly from some people who know me in real life, and like just Apple paid me as a donation because they like didn't bother clicking the link tree in the bio because they know me. And then there's Venmo, and then TikTok comes through PayPal. Like it's like dribs and drabs. I haven't added it up, is what I'm saying. It's accounted for. I keep track of it. I just like don't know what the number is off the top of my head. But yeah. So like, I guess I am a paid protester, right? Like, ironically enough, that's the grift, is that if you pay me to protest by sending me money on my Venmo, I will then be able to protest way more because I won't have to work. Wouldn't that be sick? I'm not going to tell you my job. I'm not that stupid. But I have 2 jobs. Both of my bosses are now aware of what I'm doing. I had a meeting with HR at both of my jobs in the last week to just let them know what's up and that I'm getting a lot of attention, that the vice president is sending the FBI after me and my friends. And good terms with all of them. And I had the polite, like, yep, if you find out from corporate, or like if something happens, whatever, if I need to be fired, I'm not going to be mad. Just, call the meeting and tell me, like, it's okay. Like, I accept the risk. I accepted the risk when I started doing this, when I started posting. Like, it's a thing. You can get fired for what you do on your social media, and I do some pretty wild shit on my social media. So I just, I accept that risk, and it's not going to be any hard feelings if I get fired for getting too much attention. Hopefully my social media will start making a little more money before I get fired, because it's kind of an inevitability at this point. I'm working hard. Like I had the conversation with one of my jobs is super sparse and infrequent, because it's like it's just one of those like take the shifts as they come sort of thing. It's inconsistent. So I just today was like the first shift I'd had in like a week or so, as the calendar would have it. So I just today spoke to my bosses and like had this whole conversation. Turbo, fine. Ooh, wait. I Turbo. I'm with it. He's giving me the countdown in the chat. You got me to shut up. How old are you?
Hey, there we go. 25.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I disagree with your prompt, obviously.
It's how? What? It says, tell me why you dumped Trump. So for the question to be I didn't dump Trump. Oh, then goodbye. Anyway, yeah, so it's just inapplicable to him. Interesting. Yeah, he did. I mean, I don't think that's disagreeing with Trump, right? It's like if the sign said, like, tell me why you beat your wife, I would expect only people who beat their wives to call it. So, call another time, dude. I'm having, for those, the viewership has turned over, so I need to re-announce to people. I did a gig last night. So I was like working at a comedy bar doing this thing from like 6 p.m. until like 1 in the morning. And I didn't even work all that hard on it. I like offloaded a bunch of my production responsibilities to a bunch of other people because I was dealing with so many phone calls because of everything that's happening with Savannah Hernandez. I was on the phone with Chris Ostrusko for some of it. He and I talked it out a little bit. But he's coming on the live. We're gonna talk in public. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, and then my friends wanted to celebrate like me being like locally famous, which was very nice of them. So they wanted me to go sing karaoke. So I went and sang karaoke, and I got home at 3 a.m, woke up at 7, went to work, worked for 8 hours, went to my other job, worked for 7 hours, went home, thought, yep, not gonna skip a day doing live. So this is that live stream. So my ass is tired, and I do not feel like debating about Trump right now because it is so mentally exhausting, and I'm not in a good way. Why is JD Vance after you again? Well, I don't know about me in particular. I say me and my friends, but basically JD Vance said that because like he's gonna use the footage to investigate all of these angry protesters at the Whipple building that day, and like figure out the networks that fund us or something like that. I don't know, dude. Like if we're getting paid, just where's my check? But anyway, yeah, so he said that he spoke to Kash Patel, and they're gonna use the FBI is going to investigate all of us. And when I assume that all of us is probably not actually people who are like obviously the 3 people who are involved in the scuffle, the Ostrusko family, obviously them. Probably also DeWoke Farmer, who already has federal charges. Probably Robbie Roadsteamer because he was there, even though he wasn't even involved. He wasn't standing nearby when it happened. DeWoke Farmer didn't do anything either. He was pretty nearby. He's like in the footage. He's like there watching, but he other than stopping a couple people from like pushing a couple people back, he didn't do anything. So I assume they're just gonna I'm just gonna like assume they're coming for all of us. Casey says that I just confirmed that you're a paid protester. What did I do? What did I say? I was joking about where I said if I'm a paid protester, where's my check? Which is the joke that I tell, right? People say that we're paid protesters, and I'm like, great. Who's handing out the checks? Where do I sign up? Like, how do I? Where's the money? Like, Casey, what do you mean? Tell me. Explain. What is it that I said? They only arrest violent people, so go for it, you mourn. What are you talking about? Okay, Casey says my question before. To be clear, I can't track the chat. I'm sorry, my lives are too popular. I'm not going to read the whole thing and figure it out. Just tell me again. What is it? Would I say that I'm my biggest fan? Yeah, I feel like a person should be their own biggest fan. You should really, got to care about you first. Got to like make sure you're happy and healthy and like living life in a way that you want to be. What's my favorite guitar brand? Gretsch. Oh, this is a Gretsch. It's a baritone guitar, but it's I was gonna reach over. I was like, "Where's my Gretsch?" It's still in the case from the gig last night. The other one looks way sexier. Let me go get the Daily Driver Gretsch. Dead air for 20 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm not gonna plug it in. Probably. I need to do a private live stream. So if you want to be like a super fan, like message me or something. I'm gonna do a private live stream and I'm gonna sound check and I'm gonna figure out how to play music on here. It's not in tune. Don't feel like plugging it in or tuning it. Gretches are real squirrely with the tuning, but I do like them nonetheless. All right, Casey said, what did I say? Yeah, I just said the whole thing about how I need you to like restate exactly what it is you said and what you think I said about it, and you just said your words. What words did I say? Are you talking about when I sarcastically said, if I'm a paid protester, where's my check? Or earlier when I said, I suppose I am a paid protester because I'm a protester and sometimes people send me money on Venmo to the tune of like on Venmo, like just direct donations from people, like actually, no, I was about to say less than $100, but I had a couple of like in-person donations where people were like, "Hey, love what you're doing," and handed me $100. That has happened twice. Because I get recognized in public a lot in Minneapolis. So like, yeah, ironically that, right. Okay. Yeah. So then I am in that sense a paid protester, Casey. That is what I said, because I'm a protester who did it for free for 15 years. Say my first rodeo. I started with Occupy Wall Street, I'm pretty sure. I think that was the first like big demonstration I spent a lot of time on when I was a teenager. But yeah, so I mean, I guess I think the protesting part, like, I'd be doing anyway, and I did do it without filming it for a long time. All the content production, I spend way more time on content production than I do on protesting, and there's like an ethical, or not ethical, there's like kind of a philosophical debate to be had about whether I'm protesting right now on my live on TikTok. Like, this is a radio show that I do, right? Like, I don't feel so bad working the grift on here. This is just a show I do from my crappy little apartment. And that's where most of the money comes from, is from doing this live. And I don't really do the grift for the protesting. I don't grift on the outdoor content. I don't, the only little bit of promotion that I do when I'm doing the outside content is that if I'm like live streaming on TikTok in public, I will say make sure to follow me on YouTube, because if I get banned or if things go south, I will switch over to YouTube for live streaming, because YouTube is less strict. I don't have enough YouTube followers, so like I'll do that amount of grifting. I've been to dozens of protests. Where's my source check? That's what I'm saying. Like, do I need to email him? Like, George, where's my money? This is wage theft. I've clocked so many hours protesting. So Casey says JD is going to be looking for paid protester. Oh yeah, fuck him. If he wants to, if they're gonna nab me and try to, if we're gonna watch this live, if the FBI is recording this, and then we're gonna watch this live in court, and this is gonna be the evidence that I'm a paid protester, fucking let me have it, dude. I'll dive on that grenade. What a fucking story that would be. Arrest my ass. Try me to think that people seeing what I'm doing and sending me, again, like, a catastrophically, if we're gonna, okay, all the time, the protesting, all the commute, let's even consider the fact that I spend a little money on things like gas and like gear and stuff for doing this, and then all the time video editing, all the time streaming, all the time, like we, in the last, like, since January, since I've been doing this thing, we added it all up, I make like $1 an hour. Like something like, $1.02 an hour. Like, I haven't actually done the math. I don't track it like that. But like that's for how much money the social media has made me so far, and how much has been donated to me. Yeah, it's like it's like that kind of rate, because like Dean Withers appears to make a lot of money, but he has like literally 1,000 times more followers than me. So if I look at the money that I make now, and I think, I'm sure it doesn't scale linearly, but like, yeah, if I was making like 10 or 100 times more money, that would be very considerable. Just 10 times more would be great. I spend so much time on it. For $10 an hour, I would just work that many hours a week. That's a terrible wage, but I care so much about this that I'd be okay working 90 hours a week as a protester. But I don't even make that kind of money. It's like, and the protesting isn't actually where the money is, to be clear. Like I don't really make any money off of that. I'm not requesting people pay me for my footage, for the crazy footage I get. I'm not requesting to get paid for media presence. Daily Wire reached out. I told them I'd want to go on. I said that they're only allowed to use my footage if I go on their show. So I told them no, and I told Fox News to go fuck themselves. Twice in a week. That got me awfully hard. Anyway, California Dreamer says, I've seen 16K viewers on his live on a regular basis. Yeah. I've seen north of 20, like, numerous times. Good dude pulls crazy numbers. I mean, obviously he gets all those donations, but I bet that just the amount of just direct TikTok revenue is crazy. And I'm not going to shade him for the grift, dude. Like, the guy's after it. Not doing anything wrong. He's making a good show. I listen to him. Would you buy is this a joke I don't get? Why would you buy a white penguin with all that money? What is a white penguin? Is that a euphemism for something? Google time. Oh, is it a guitar? Never heard of it. Oh yeah, one of those fancy Gretches. Yeah, those 6,000 series ones. Yeah, because what's the No. My dream Gretsch isn't that one. It's a Gretsch. I'm a Chet Atkins guy. It'd be like if I won the lottery, I would go find me like a 50-year-old Gretsch country gentleman that I really like. Oh, internet gone. Internet back? How long was I gone? What I was saying is that yeah, about that fancy a Gretsch is what I would want for a guitar. Oh, I should show people. I'm being a terrible live host right now, which is like semi on purpose because I'm just vibing. But yeah, this looks like a hard body to me. This is like not a hollow body. I'm into the hollow body ones for my type of music generally. This would be a sick guitar. I am tempted to buy a Jet, which is like a cheaper version of this one that we're looking at, because this is like very similar to, this is like the Gretsch equivalent of a Les Paul. But I have, yeah, the other one I was showing is a hollow body, and I do love the resonance of their full hollow bodies. Great feedback and stuff. But I got no money for guitars. And I have my Daily Driver archtop acoustic Gretsch, and my baritone guitar is a Gretsch, and those are fine. They're great for me. I don't need another Gretsch. The only guitar need I have is that my acoustic Daily Driver is a piece of shit. It's just like a beat to hell Yamaha. What even is it? FX335C, just like the standard busker guitar, which is like a $300 guitar new that they still make. This is an old one, so the pickups are better than like a newer one. And it sounds fine. It's worn to hell. The frets are destroyed. It needs a fret job, but it's not worth a fret job because it's such a crappy guitar. So I'll probably do a fret job on it to learn how to do a fret job, and I'll be okay if I ruin it. But I'm also good enough, and I play in public enough that like I'm in a buy it nice or buy it twice kind of place. I should spend $1,000 and get me a Martin Busker. Busker's not a model. It's just a type of guitar, like a cutaway acoustic guitar with like good pickups, which is like a general all-purpose street corner busking or gigging guitar. Next time you're at Guitar Shop, check out some Dan Electros if they have any. I do like Dan Electros. They do a lot of very similar things to Gretsch, like that stuff. Do I tune my guitar on my own? Well, none of these guitars are in tune because I haven't even played today. I've been working all day. Are you asking if I tune by ear? Because I mean, everybody tunes on their own, I would hope. I have a good enough ear that if I play a guitar that's mostly in tune, I can like play a G chord and be like, nah, that B string's flat, and like get it right. But yeah, I mean, if I'm live, I try to make sure it's dialed. So I use the pedal tuner or something. But yeah, I have no budget, for. Yeah, I mean, I'm in this place where like a $300 or $500 acoustic guitar is like achievable, and I make enough money playing music that I have 2 jobs, and both of them fell on the same day today. So I worked an 8-hour shift and a 7-hour shift at 2 different jobs, normal jobs. I don't make enough money protesting. Like I had a whole conversation about that. The protesting doesn't even make any money. It's the live stream. It's this. This makes money. My little radio show that I do is where the money comes from. I don't like the glitter finished Dan Electros personally. But that's just an opinion. What was I saying? Yeah, I could get like a better guitar for like $300 or $400, something like that. But I just know I'd be buying myself like a year with it before I like really needed to upgrade. So I'm in buy it nice, buy it twice. But I also I'm really trying to dive into the social media thing. So I'm penny pinching. I don't want to upgrade anything I have right now. I haven't, in terms of like music and production and video and stuff. I haven't spent a dime on anything. I need a new webcam. This webcam, I bought it when I was in like high school. I'm 30. Like, oh, Logitech 920. I cannot believe you still work. This microphone, I don't own it. I borrowed it. And I borrowed it from the production like assets of a show that I work on, because the person who does own it is okay with me doing that. A lot of the random audio gear I had, because I'm a musician. So I have what I need. I've got a good interface. I could use better monitor speakers. There's a bunch of shit I could upgrade. But the one big thing is I could use a much nicer guitar, but I just need to not think about it until it's a necessity. Like if I break that one, I'll buy a $300 or $500 guitar, but I should buy like I need like $1,000 guitar. I'm good enough at what I do now that it matters, you know? Like a beginner is not going to know the difference between a $200 and $300 guitar versus like $1,000 guitar. But I'm at a point where like, especially for an acoustic guitar, because they're all snowflakes. Every one of them is unique. The tone is, most off the line electric guitars are pretty fucking identical to one another if they're of the same batch. Whereas that's not really true about acoustic guitars. It's kind of, the grain is unique. So, you know, each one of them is a snowflake. The Yamaha 612s are definitely the best bang for the buck guitars on the market. Yamaha 612. Never heard of it. Is it the kind of guitar I'm talking about? This is so fun, guys. Like I really just want to celebrate that I've like been successful enough at live streaming that I can just like come on here and like not even give a fuck about what I'm talking about, and I still have people hanging out chatting with me about stuff. Oh yeah, okay. I've seen this style from Yamaha. Very very diverse pickup set on these, and I like the Gretches for that in terms of getting different diversity of sound. Looks like you got a humbucker bridge pickup, and then single coils on the mid and the neck. So this is like halfway between a Strat and a Gretsch, kinda, sorta. But yeah, gives you a lot of options tone wise. Looks like it's switched like a Stratocaster though. Looks like probably a 5-way switch and then just volume and tone. So it's a little simplified on the electronics than a Strat. Yeah, I'd fucks with this guitar. But that's the sort of thing where it's like, well, I have, you know, my broke ass does have like a normal Strat. Gotta have a Strat, right? There's a fat Strat. They made them in like the year 2000. It's a little thicker than normal Strat. Everybody picks it up. They're like, whoa, did it get wet? Why is this guitar heavy? But it's it's just a Squier one. Oh, here's my fucking tuner. I've been looking for that. Why is it on the Strat? Must have been playing the Strat. Anyway, yeah. I'm a really tall person. I mean, I'm not really tall. I'm like 6 foot. I am 6 foot. I'm a comfortable 6 foot. I'm like 6.5 inches or something. Like a real deal 6 foot. But I look tiny. Camera removes 6 inches, which means that like makes me look like I'm this like shrimpy, tiny, like super skinny person, and I am really lean. But anyway, my point is the guitar fits my hands really well because it's like a Strat, but like a smidge bigger. But I think it's very funny. I think it's very funny that people think I'm tiny and unathletic because I'm neither. I don't even see here. It's just us girls talking. It's the 28 people that are still here with me at 1 a.m. I don't fight back on the trolls saying I'm like a soy boy or whatever because it's just such fucking lowbrow alpha male manosphere bullshit. It's not even worth responding to. But I do just think it's funny because it's false. Like I'm in super good shape. Very very proud of my health. Been taking good care of my health. Really kind of forever, you know, like my mom is a nutritionist by education. So she just like educated me well on eating, and I always ate well. And then I just got more serious about exercise in my early 20s, and I just kept up with that. Pretty lean right now because I'm a runner. Running is the goal. Running fast. I've got some goals for running fast, and then if I meet those goals, or I think this is the last season, I'm going to try to beat my mile record again. And if I fail, I think I'm just going to go back to, you know, cardio for health, but I think I'm going to switch the goals to like lifting and some calisthenic stuff, so I'll get bigger again. I'm kind of in control of my body, which is why it just doesn't hurt my feelings that thousands of people call me a fucking soy boy every day. It's like, well, who cares? Because like if you call me a soy boy, like I don't even care that you think that about me. You're just a piece of garbage for using such a manosphere term. Like gross. Why do you? Or like when people say I'm a beta, it's just like gross. Like how antiquated. Blech. 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 What shoes do I use? Oh, what are they? I have Hokas. I was just thinking about my Hokas. They're getting real worn out. I need to buy. That's a thing. I got lucky and I found this pair of Hokas, like barely used, fit me perfectly in a thrift store. They were like $40 because the store had recognized that they were decent shoes. Like they weren't like a $10 off the rack pair of used sneakers from Goodwill. But they're like a $200 running shoe, and oh my god, does it make a difference? I guess it's like I was just saying about guitars. It makes a difference if you're good. You know, an expensive guitar feels worlds better to a good player. And my goodness, my running time like actually did get 5% faster when I got like actual expensive running shoes after running in like worn to shitty shoes that practically had me running barefoot. Oh, dude, Will sent me a Venmo. All right, I'm too curious. I'm gonna check how much it was. Dude, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Will. Yeah, it means the world every time somebody donates something, because it is just like I think about the sort of thing you might spend that money on, and I think like, yeah, you know, like I get to spend that money on that thing now, you know. Appreciate it, man. Like really, every little bit counts towards this sort of thing working, and it's very exciting to me that somebody can sit here when I'm just like literally talking to the chat about fucking nothing. It's refreshing. The debates are kind of horrible. Like it's emotionally devastating that these Trump supporters work in the way that they do, and I think I'm the right person. I have the patience for it, but it's like refreshing to sit here and just like, as soon as we started talking about guitars, I was like, oh, fuck everybody in this chat who doesn't like guitars. I'm going to talk about guitars. I never talk about guitars on the live. I showed you 4 of my guitars, the 4 that happen to be on the 4 guitar rack that sits immediately to the left of my desk, because I do play piano, but like my primary instrument's guitar, and it's just the way my room is set up. It'd be probably better for the live if they were like in frame, because it would like look cooler, but I'm not going to put them in front of the couch that's at the foot of my bed in my tiny studio apartment. It doesn't make sense. But so the guitars are out of frame. They're just right here to the left. But thank you, Will. I really appreciate that. I taught public speaking for a long time. I actually like did oh God, I hope it doesn't exist anymore. I did a podcast when I was a teenager. Wonder what kind of horrible things are in there. Kind of childish opinions I had back then. I didn't have any horrible opinions. I've definitely just, I probably just thought I was smarter than I was, but everybody does when they're a kid. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've been like a lifelong, like 10, 20 hour a week podcast listener for working and working out and doing chores and stuff. So I think I just have educated myself on what makes a good podcast. And I'm good at yapping. Good, and get me talking about fucking anything, and I will just go. So tonight it's guitars, which is kind of fun. I do like the Dan Electros. Dan Electros make the Dan Electros are like quirky Gretches. It's like silly Gretches. It's like what if a Gretsch was like more like, you know, like 50s style. Anna plays the banjo. I miss my banjo. I had a real nasty ex that like ruined my life, and when the life was like at peak ruined state, I had to sell everything I owned to like not starve to death and be homeless, and so went all the instruments, except for like the one classical guitar it's like the family heirloom guitar that I can't sell, of course, which I was always thankful that I had one guitar I wasn't allowed to sell, because then I always had a guitar even though it was just a classical guitar. But I miss my banjo. That's okay. I was talking earlier about things that I want, and none of the streaming money is going to any of this shit, because I want it to go to paying for my cost of living so I can work less and protest more. That's what it is. I'm not a paid protester. I'm a paid live streamer, and the more money I make live streaming, the more time I can spend protesting. That's actually what the equation is. So yeah, I'm trying to pay myself to protest, because the protesting doesn't fucking pay. Anyway, if I need a good acoustic guitar for bringing to gigs, but that big particular need aside, like the one thing that I have really abstained from, other than the keyboards, is buying other instruments, because it's such a rabbit hole, and I'm enough of a musician that I can pick up any instrument and like figure out how to play something on it. Like, I don't care how your fucking banjo's tuned. I can use my ear and find a major scale on it. Play Mary Had a Little Lamb or whatever. But man, I want a banjo, I want a mandolin, I want a violin, I want a ukulele, like a nice ukulele, like, because like so many ukuleles are just shitty, but like there's some, when you play a $400 stage ukulele that like somebody would play, like a touring musician might play, they're so nice. They sound so pretty. It's just like so many odd little things. There's a bunch of $20 to $50 instruments I want. I want harmonicas, because I've been learning a lot. I was like super into Blues Traveler, and I really like want to like learn how to solo on the harmonica, and like I've got a good ear for that type of soloing. So I'm curious if like a harmonica would be intuitive to play. But I'm such an ADHD completionist about things that I'd be really bothered by only having a handful of keys. Harmonica is an instrument where instead of like it having all the notes on it, you're stuck in a particular key. So if you want all 12 keys for all 12 notes, you need 12 harmonicas. And then there's a couple of other like random styles of harmonica that are used in particular genres. So the Popper, the fucking best harmonica player ever to live, who is still alive and still singing with Blues Traveler and wailing on the harmonica, his assortment of harmonicas is 14 of them. I think it's 12 keys plus 2 obscure ones. If you want the harmonicas to be good, like not shitty harmonicas, that's like $700 worth of fucking harmonicas. They're expensive. Like good ones are like $80. It's crazy. My 7-year-old granddaughter plays the harmonica. Yeah, harmonica is like the beauty of an instrument that is locked to a key is that anybody can play it. You can just mess around and it doesn't, as long as you're, like, if you're playing to something that's the same key, it'll, like, feel right, and it's easy to find notes that are fun to play. Do I use any pedals? I'll grab it quick. I'm broke, so I don't have a big assortment of pedals, but I have a pedal board that's like one of those multi-effects things. Still in the gig bag from last night, so I had to pull it out. But yeah, it's a Line 6 floor pod, and the way that these work is that you get 4 pedals. It's very gross because it gets stepped on in a bar all the time. But you get 4 pedals, and basically it's 4 pedals wired through each other left to right, but you get 3 profiles for each of them, which is why there's 3 switches for each pedal set there. So I can set up a bunch of different effects and then just change how they're all arranged by stomping on them. So for all the sound effects I use for the comedy bar and stuff, I just set them all up when I do sound check. And then if I want distortion or clean tone or silly kind of like, alien space sounding weird echoes and stuff, use that thing. It's great. It's great for, like, again, I'm so fortunate that so many people believe in me. That is also something that I don't own that has been in my possession for like 18 months because somebody who fucking believes in me gave it to me and said, don't worry about it. But they're not too expensive. It's like a $200 pedal board, but like Line 6 has got some good cheap effects. Cause like obviously a fancy pedal board with 18 pedals on it that each cost $100 would be a way better solution than that. But that costs $2,000 and is like more rigging mess. So for me being a beginner live performer, love that thing. And it's easy to say. It's one chord. It just plugs in and then it's done. Plug the guitar into it, plug it into the house, and then send it. Or plug it into the amp, because I do have a good stage amp here, which I don't bring to gigs very often. Usually I just plug. The pedal board is so diverse. I can usually get it to sound good just plugging directly into the house PA, because that's kind of what it's designed for. And I'm not, if I was playing like a concert, I would never do that. But I play a lot of like intro and outro music for comedians. So just like, random chord progressions and riffs and shit. So for simplicity, it makes sense. It has been a pleasure hanging out. Like, thanks for hanging out, guys. I didn't think I was going to get the live stream today because my work schedule was so hectic today, but I thought I was going to get home at like 1-2 in the morning, like now-ish from my second job for the day. But the shift ended a little earlier than I expected. I guess it wasn't even 7 hours. It was like 6 hours or something. Anyway, I got home early enough that I like ate some food and I was like, ooh, I shall not break the live streaming streak. I'm on a good streak. I've live streamed every day. What is it? Almost 2 weeks now? That's big for me because it's not making enough money that's sensible, but I'm making a push for it to make enough money for that to be sensible. Because I've got like kind of a shot at that happening. The math says it'll work. And also every bigger streamer who's encountered me is like, who the fuck are you and why aren't you famous yet? Which is heartbreakingly wonderful of them. So like, yeah, I mean, I had Santana hop on my show for an hour. It's one thing for him to hop up and be like, hey, but he like kicked it with me for like an hour. That dude believes in me to some degree. Got to get in touch with him. I got something to talk about. Don't pester him. No pestering. Do not pester. It's a rule. There's a rule I have. I do not do pestering campaigns because I have enough followers that I could pester people to poke somebody and then they would know that I exist. I don't do that. But anyway, I got to get in touch with Santana. I don't think he follows me. Anyway, I'm the problem. No one ever said that. No one ever said what? That people believe? Yeah, tons of people believe me. It's great. It's very heartwarming that both in my music, like real life that I have, like people support me a lot, and then like on here, like everybody's pretty excited about me, and that's very exciting. Yeah, I'm the problem. I don't know, dude. Look at the numbers; they're good. 5 million views on Instagram in a month is crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna find out what that means when I get over 10,000 followers, because then I'll get some money for the views. But it's complicated with political content. A bunch of it doesn't monetize. I'll need to learn how to navigate that when I get over 10,000 followers. But that'll be soon. Yeah. Spook says that guy's mad for no reason. I know the reason. He's mad that I'm successful. Yay! It's going great. It's going great. I got to skip the grind. You know, I had some videos go viral. And I like, because I'm good at talking. I my first lives that were like shitty compared to how good I am at it now. Were not so good, but they were still like better than average for a beginner. And I had just good viewership and success through like the protesting content right away, that I like skipped the 8 months of like fucking talking to 3 people. I only talked to like single digit viewers for like less than a month. I just got to like kind of go to the front, and then I get to like not give a shit and have a live like this where I don't even talk about anything important. I'm just talking to the chat, and it still has 20 people listening at 1 a.m. Even though I like haven't even promoted this one. Spook used, or the guy who's mad used a slur, and then no anger, just logic. No one has ever said that you are the problem. Very logical to just call me a liar baselessly. Very logical. That's what logic is. That's what you think logic is. Shooting fish in a barrel, debating people on TikTok Live. Seriously, don't know. Like just calling something that logic that isn't what logic. Like, what do you mean? Explain yourself. Don't actually explain yourself. I don't give a shit. It's not the night for that. Tomorrow will be the day for that. We'll be live streaming in the morning, sometime between 9 and 12 Central Standard Time. But I got to spend much of the rest of the day video editing, and then I need to go to work another evening shift tomorrow. And I got content coming. I got my big hit piece I'm doing on Savannah Hernandez and a bunch of other involved parties soon, Monday hopefully. And then after that gets pushed on Instagram, I'm going to have Chris Ostrusko come on to the live. I spoke with him on the phone yesterday, and he's open to that, and he knows I'm pretty fucking mad at him for what he did. Obviously, fucking everybody is. Mostly. Couple people are violent enough that they hate that Savannah girl, that they're okay with what he did. Anyway, I'll answer one more question before I leave. Vi asks where I'm from. I grew up in New York, which is why I think there's a little bit of the New Yorker, I don't take no shit, that like makes these lives easy, where it's like, dude, like I grew up getting yelled at on the subway. I don't care. Moved to Minnesota 10 years ago. And I'm 30 now, so it's been an interesting shift. So I'm blending in as a Minnesotan, and I do really feel like, for having spent my whole adult life here, I really do feel like Minneapolis is my home, and I get to, like, I have some real pride in being a part of this community as we go through this thing. You know, whole world's watching, right? William loves Donald J. Trump. What a shame. That made me so unhappy that the live is over. Good night, everybody.